What up, Texans fans? Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports. We're going to be talking about Anthony Miller, and I got a juicy trade rumor around, of course, Deshaun Watson. But I'm not going to get into the Watson rumor quite yet. I am first going to kick the show off with a little bit of information around Anthony Miller, and is this guy going to have a breakout season? So the Bears, they traded him to the Texans for a fifth-round pick, and if I'm going to be 100% honest with you, I've been very disappointed in what I've seen so far from Miller, because when he was coming out of Memphis, his explosion, his ability to really cut was something that I was very, very excited to see. Now, I could also say that, well, Mitch Trubisky, Nick Foles, and the rest of the quarterbacks that have been trying to throw the football in Chicago have not been very good. And it does not surprise me whatsoever that so far Miller has definitely been a standout at Texans training camp. And when you also hear all the reports of how well the defense is playing, that kind of makes me a little bit encouraged. So in terms of his numbers, last season, only 49 catches, 485 yards, and then 2 touchdowns. The average, though, that's what's really concerning to me. But again, I don't really think it has so much to do with Miller. I'm going to sit here and I'm actually going to point the finger more at the quarterback play overall. But when Miller has come out, right, he came out in 2018, second-round pick. His 3 years, which you guys see on screen right now, 33 grabs as a rookie, 423 yards, 7 touchdowns. That was basically the only year that Mitchell Trubisky had a pulse, if you will. 2019, 2020 came down a little bit in terms of touchdowns, but the yards also went up. But the reason why I'm really excited to see what Miller can ultimately do this year is because he has an opportunity to be that wide receiver 2 for this offense. Brandon Cooks, if he's healthy, that's going to be your wide receiver 1. Actually had a very sneaky 1,000-yard receiving season last year. Nico Collins, Kiki Cutie, but there's no more Randall Cobb. And if Miller can figure out a way how to finesse himself into that wide receiver 2 role, because let's face it, not that I don't trust Kiki and not that I don't like the talent that Nico has, but in terms of veteran play and being able to trust who these quarterbacks are going to throw to, I'd actually probably put Miller up there. And it's kind of weird calling him a veteran, but when you see some of those players on that roster, you can understand why. I also love his ability and how it matches with somebody potentially like a Tyrod Taylor and even like somebody like Deshaun Watson. So the question I'm going to ask y'all is this: 500 receiving yards. That's the number I want you to think about. Over or under 500 receiving yards for Anthony Miller, coming off a season last year where he was under 500. In 2019, he was over 500. So think about it. Over, under 500 receiving yards for Miller. I'm actually going to go ahead and type my O for over. So as promised, we got a trade rumor here. It's around Deshaun Watson. And obviously the off-field legal issues, they're still ongoing. But there's a report out there that the Panthers, they're keeping a close eye on him. And we've made multiple videos here at Chat Sports before about Watson potentially going to this team, that team. And the Panthers have always been a team that I've said that could be a very, very sneaky team. And I get it. They already traded for Sam Darnold. But let's face it. If Deshaun Watson doesn't have anything over his head and he's, cleared of all his charges, he's a top 5 quarterback and he's a lot better than Sam Darnold here. But the Texans, they've also been in a way kind of prepping to maybe potentially move on from Watson with some of the moves that they've made. I mean, let's face it, they drafted Davis Mills with their first pick. This past year's draft. They went out and signed Tyrod Taylor this offseason. But here's the quote from Pro Football Talk, and one of the biggest reasons why this rumor is starting to get a little bit more legs here. So per a leak source, the Panthers quietly are keeping an eye on Watson. Yes, they traded for Sam Darnold and picked up his 2020 second option. Owner David Tepper, nevertheless, is committed to finding a long-term franchise quarterback. Watson has the skill to become that guy, and Tepper, who made his money buying low and selling high, could be inclined to make a move if Watson's contract can be secured at a reasonable amount. So that quote is again from Pro Football Talk. But my whole take on this whole Watson getting traded thing is I don't think he's going to get traded this year, and I really think it just simply comes down to I would be surprised if an NFL team trades for Watson with all the things that are going on with him. I mean, how can you trade for a player that's got 22 allegations against him, right? The other thing, though, is this. I do think if he is cleared of all his charges, he's gone next offseason. Like, not only does he want to get the hell out of there, there are also going to be a lot of teams trying to buy his services here. So I don't think it's going to happen in 2021, but I do think it's ultimately going to happen in 2022, especially with his case, I believe, set in the middle of February. I think it's February 2022. So here was a trade idea made by producer Jeremy, and I get it. You guys always see my face, maybe Tom's face, whoever's face is here at Chat Sports, but our producers, they do a hell of a job too. So he gave me this trade idea, and I want you guys to let me know, would you do this? The Panthers received Deshaun Watson. The Houston Texans get a 2022 first-round pick, a 2023 first-round pick, and a 2023 third-round pick. Now, if you're just talking about ultimately like, well, the value of Watson, it's kind of hard to be able to put your finger on it because, let's face it, if there's nothing going against him, you want a lot more picks than this. But let me know right now, guys. Make this trade. I want you to type Y for yes, or I want you to go ahead and type your N for no. If I was the Carolina Panthers, I wouldn't make this trade because of all the allegations. But in a world where, let's say, Deshaun Watson is proven innocent, then yes, I would make this trade for both sides. Now, if you guys love the Houston Texans, if you're looking for more free videos, yes, I said the word free, I need you to subscribe. The way that Chat Sports works is we're interactive, but the more subs the channel gets, the more videos you guys get. And who knows, maybe you guys can even get some more live shows coming up. So to make sure you don't miss anything the entire season, I want you to go ahead and subscribe.